watch Survivor, and when the show ends, you really want to talk about it with like-minded friends. It might be hard to find some, but don't you shed a tear. Check out the Purple Rock Podcast, and this is what you'll hear. John will make some dumb jokes, Andy likes to yell and curse, and if they're not available, the backup hosts are so much worse. Spend the whole time being jerks, telling you you're wrong. And so we got this other jerk to sing you our theme song. It's the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast.
Welcome to the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast. I am John, my co-host is Andy, and this week we're talking Survivor 49, Episode 6, which honestly may as well have been Episode 1, Andy. It's a whole new beginning. A thing happened for like the first time. I felt like, oh yeah, that was an episode of Survivor, which I don't know, man. The rest of them this season, I didn't quite feel like that. Did you feel like we finally had a thing, like we finally got not even to the fireworks factory, but like to the factory that's before the fireworks factory? It's like the TGI Fridays factory or something.
Yeah, to give people a sense of how I feel about this episode, a little behind the curtain look. I did not watch this episode last night. I had like 3 hours of basketball practice, and then I had to watch the Blue Jays win a World Series game.
Congratulations.
We need one more of those. So I was up pretty late, and I have been a lot of this week because of the same Blue Jays. Not fair when they play 2 games in one night. But yeah, so then, as you know, this morning, I was like, actually, is this worth watching? Is this I was going to opt out of recording the podcast. And in fact, at one point I did. I was like, you know what, it's fine, because combined with I'm not sure if I was going to watch it because of how tired I was. And then, I've been dealing with a personal situation that I got some news today that, while not unexpected, certainly unpleasant. But then I did watch it. And I'm like, I have to talk about this one. So apologies to the guest host that you had lined up.
I did have someone lined up. And then 10 minutes later, I was in a meeting at work, and you're texting me actually, I'm in. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. So apologies to Mike, but for everybody, you actually will hear him later. But yeah, no. So I was pretty excited about how this episode went down.
Yeah. So I feel like we normally start off by asking this, but it's just an exercise in futility. Why even bother? Of course, we liked the episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was tough because you were like, this was the best episode of the season, but not a high bar to clear. So I'm like, does that mean it's good or not? But I feel like you were being cagey.
I was.
So as to not spoil, because yes, especially as it went on, it's like, okay, if what's going to happen, what's hinting at is going to happen, then obviously this would be an amazing episode.
Yep.
And I'm as a whole, was it full on amazing? Maybe not, but I don't care. I enjoyed it. This is the stuff, man.
Yeah. It could just entirely be that they've lowered the bar for the past several weeks, that it feels like such a win. But at the same time,
I think this is legit. I think, any season, a story like this with the characters like they have there, this is we talk about the strategy. We like the big characters and all of that, but I think if there's one thing I like the most about Survivor, and it's rare, it doesn't happen that often, is when, but it does, it's not super rare, but it doesn't happen every season. You can't always count on it happening. But it's when somebody that you just do not like, and often it's I just don't like that person. And obviously, it's an edit. We don't really know them.
You don't like the TV version of that person.
Sure. And then they get their comeuppance like this. It's people wonder why we rank Cook Island so highly. It's the assholes lost to the likable people. It's not that deep, bro. So that's what happened here. So yeah, no, I don't even feel like we have to qualify it. It wasn't just that we've, had 5 straight episodes of whatever that happened. Nah, man, I think any kind of season of Survivor, I would have been yes, that's the stuff.
And see, the fun part for me is that, you were watching it today and you're like, oh, should I even watch? And I, again, try to play it cool. Like, I didn't want to give anything away. Because you're right. If I had said, like, nah, this is good stuff, then you would have a sense of what's going to happen, right?
Especially like as it starts to go down. It's like,
exactly. Like, you wouldn't even need to get to the immunity challenge. You'd just assume who's going to lose because, like, to make a good episode, this is how it would have to go. And so I'm getting, your messages as you're going through, and you're like, oh my God, I'm on board now. This is Sage, yes. And I was like, finally, let us rejoice in the glory of Sage, Andy. She's a wolf, baby.
Absolutely.
We hold our
She's a queen.
That's right. We hold our blackhead jars aloft for thee, mighty queen. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, jump on board this fucking bandwagon. I've been telling you for weeks. She's great. I didn't even think she was great in this way. I just thought she was fun. But like, as I said last week, I had very low expectations for her as a player. But then I was like, I mean, she's doing the right things, like the things she should be doing. And I was like, I just didn't expect that. I thought she was just, silly little weirdo. It was fun to watch on the TV, but, maybe not so good at the Survivor. But like, once again, she played really well. It was like, it wasn't at all what I expected out of her, right? But it's like exactly what I needed specifically for this episode.
Yeah, I know. Like, people in comments were like, "Oh, John's get to tell you, Andy, I told you so." But it's like, you weren't really telling us this. For one, you weren't actually around to tell us shit. But
it's fair.
But when you were like, "No, she's just a weirdo, and I like her, and she seems genuine." Unlike a lot of these other people, you weren't be like, "Watch out, she's gonna kill it" or anything. That's not what you were in for.
No,
because she was legit impressive, strategically, gameplay wise, social gaming. The way that she just played Shannon like a fiddle even before they ever knew they were going to go to votes. Right?
I couldn't believe it. This again has been a building arc, right? Like, we saw this going last week where she's, looking at the camera and like making these faces as she's hugging, like, and it just continued this week to the point that it was like, I mean, Shannon had just barely left the frame and she's making a face, and it's like, wait a minute, man, like, you're going to get caught. Like, but she's playing it so masterfully, and Shannon's like, can we hold hands? Oh, yeah, of course, bestie. Like, just eating it up.
Fantastic. Shannon totally thinks I'm playing this dummy.
Yes.
I'm just going to watch me work. It's so easy. And meanwhile, you were the one being played. It's so good. It's so good. God. I love it so much. And like, usually when we get the comeuppance, which again, I love it, so I'm not like complaining, but most often it's a dude, right? Yeah, and often like a dude type, really, again, always fun, not complaining. But this was a different brand, a different flavor, and it was so well done and so satisfying.
And I think more so because that Sage had that like Kaiser Soze thing where you're like, what? Like, this was you? This was what you brought to the table? I'm thinking, much like Shannon, you're just this goof that's here, and, you're going to say some ridiculous things, and you're not going to play well. You're there for entertainment value. And then just all of a sudden the reveal comes, and it's like, oh my God, you were good at this the whole time? This is amazing. This is not what I thought I was going to get.
And she was setting it up. Like, Sage deserves so much of the credit. And it's also easy for me to be fully on board. It's like last week, I wasn't fully on board, right? I was scoping out the deals on the website for the travel, but I hadn't yet booked a ticket. But I'm all aboard the Sage train now. And it's because, she wasn't really doing any weirdo shit either, right? It was Kaiser Soze is a perfect thing because she had it, and then she was able to play, and it would have been so easy. It would have been so easy for Sage to be like, "Hey, Steven's an easy boat. I don't need to rock the boat now. I can keep my powder dry." But and I know there was sentiment. I even expressed it when like Shannon first started to reveal herself as like a villain worth being interested in. It's like, maybe you don't want to lose that villain so much. It's like, no. I'm so glad it went down now because it is 100% Sage, and the groundwork that she laid the week before with the group that they were with. I can't remember. They were blue at the time. But Steven is the carryover from that group. And then she's able to work that so easily. The way she could get Shannon, Shannon's, okay, well, I'm so easy. This is so easy. I've manipulated everybody. I can tell Sage whatever. She's going to do whatever I want, and tells her the Jawan story. And then immediately Sage attacks on that. Even though, like, again, it would have been easy to not lead a vote.
Right.
Just go with it. I'm so glad she didn't. And what's beautiful is now she doesn't have to live with Shannon at all. Shannon doesn't make the jury. None of that. Sage wins.
Oh man, and that was the thing too. Is I did when it first started going down. I was like, oh man, Sage. I don't know. It's risky. This is a tribe of 4. Like you could absolutely just ride this, play it the conservative way, and just like, oh, fine, roll your eyes and suck it up, and you'd stick to the Shannon's, like wherever she wanted to put the votes, even if it was Jawan, though realistically, it was going to be Steven. But like once she starts pushing, I'm like, okay, this is it. We're doing this. Like I hope this works. And I figured Steven is obviously going to be on board, right? Like what other? You tell him wherever the vote's going to go.
Unless Shannon already has roped him in, right?
But even then, like Steven is down to vote for whomever. But I think, we'd gotten, again, the groundwork from last week that like Sage seems to be on the up and up, and Steven seems to see through Shannon's act and believe Sage, right? So she's got the 2 votes, and then it's just that she's got to get Jawan. And so the only thing that you're hoping is like, okay, well now she's got to convince Jawan that what Shannon actually did, which was insane because Shannon actually did say, I'm down to vote out Jawan. So she's not.
She actually cast a vote for Jawan.
So well, that's what I'm saying is like, it's not Sage like trying to make up some reason for Jawan to vote Shannon out. She's coming to her and saying like, no, actually, she really did suggest you, which was true. She didn't even have to like make that shit up. And then, Jawan ends up believing her, and it just works out perfectly. And you're right. Like Shannon, I was going to root against. I did want her to be gone at some point. But really, the most satisfying way for her to go is at the hands of Sage, right? And it's like in such a small group, it really puts it right in the hands of Sage for this move.
Yeah, she's doing the thing when she's walking out and being like, oh, no, it's all God's plan, and oh, great job. And then she can convince herself like, oh, no, they really turned it on. They know, the person you thought nothing of, the person that you were trying to backstab, in some ways, understandably, given the situation they were in, it had to be one of them, she turned it around on you. Nobody else. It was Sage. And, maybe she didn't know that until she watched the episode this week. That would be delicious as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a question then, like, and that's why it's satisfying now, again, as you're saying, because you can solely attribute this one to Sage. But because, again, what's Jawan going to do? Let himself be voted out? Right. What's Steven gonna do? Somebody's presenting a plan that it's not him when it absolutely should be him.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is all Sage. But where was I going? It was also satisfying because like there's no like Shannon wasn't voted out because she was a big threat.
Nope.
She was like, this isn't an honorable vote out. It was she fucked up and she took Sage for granted. She thought way too highly of herself. And she's gone as a result. And that's great. Fantastic. And then there's the thought, like, the person that is often Sage in this, the underdog, the one you kind of feel bad for, but then maybe also understand why they're ostracized a bit.
Right.
They usually won't make this move. Because if you don't do this, if you just take, and you even if you just convince Shannon, no, we should just get rid of Steven, because then there'd still be 6 former Uli members. Well, what's that doing for Sage, really?
Right.
What does being one of those 6 help her? Because she was, at best, like it tells her she's moved up to 5, because Jawan would be 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that would be the argument that there's a risk here. Eventually they're all going to merge together. We now know it's, tomorrow. They'd probably have a good sense that it would be that. But yeah, that tribe wasn't really working for Sage anyway. Nope. So, like, doing something like this, she already last week had that show of, support, loyalty, or whatever, when she told them about Rizo's idol. Mm-hmm. Information that's out there, again, by the way. So that also, unbeknownst to Sage, would probably make it a little more difficult for her to reintegrate into that group. But she'd started that. Now she has this with Steven. Like, now she has this with Jawan. They were going to cast you aside. Like, Sage now has an opportunity to shape the second half in the game to help her in the way that, like, the way it was shaping up before wasn't going to help her either way. All she was going to do was hang around until they got rid of her, or until she was a no-vote finalist.
Right. And so we often ask, like, was this vote the right decision? And for that reason and so many others, fuck yeah, it was the right decision for Sage. Because realistically, as you said, if she goes back with that other group, I mean, she knows that she was on the bottom. I think she knew before they ever had a freaking vote. And so at the very least, she's like, well, shit, I'm either on the bottom over there or I'm going to roll the dice and hope that I'm not on the bottom over here. And yeah, I mean, it's just smart strategy for her. And now not only that, but in moving to take out Shannon, okay, well, Jawan knows that he was targeted, so she's got another potential free agent. And so it's like, okay, well, those people that had ostracized her before, now she's maybe got enough people to band against them and, maybe puts herself in a decent position in the game. But whether or not she does that or not, like, regardless, she's at least taken the better of the two options. So A+ move for her.
Yeah, the path of not doing much puts her on a path of no real path for success. Right? Just be a disregarded member of that alliance. Yeah, again, you'd be fifth. Maybe you don't go out fifth because they're like, oh, everybody wants Sage in the finals because she's not going to win type thing. But no, this path could be more fraught, might not work out, but it's a new path with potential.
Yeah.
We'll see where that potential leads. So just strategically, it actually is a great move. Initially, when I wrote down, was it the right move for Sage? My answer was like, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to see it. But the more I think about it, it's like, it's both.
Yeah.
All hail Queen Sage.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what a ridiculous question. It doesn't matter. It was absolutely the best move for TV, which is the thing I care about because I'm watching a TV show. But like also, it just to add to the fire, she was forced to hold hands with this person and constantly hug this person, which who she didn't like.
When she had the power was hers,
Oh.
then she doesn't hug.
So that's the beauty of it, right? Like, it's the instant freedom from that prison. Like, Shannon's coming back, like, I'm going to get that hug again. And Sage is like, actually, no. no thanks. And like, and probably overlooked comedic point is that after Sage expressly turns down this hug, then Shannon's like, okay, I love you. And Sage is like, nothing. Gives her nothing. And then off Shannon goes just constantly with the, this was such a delight and, peace, love, namaste, blah, blah, whatever she might be saying on her way out. And Sage, meanwhile, just, nope, I'm free of this now. I don't have to keep up this smokescreen bullshit. I can drop it immediately. Your torch is getting snuffed. So great.
Yeah, and great in a way that a lot of these other comeuppances or the underdog turns the tables and all that aren't, like, can't be, just due to the structure of the game. Shannon's not a jury member. Shannon's alliance partners aren't in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, often you'd have to, couch it. You couldn't, do something like what she just did. Nah, man, she's gone. You win, like when Cochran flips on his bullies, he fucking loses as a result, right? I mean, he was going to lose anyway, so who fucking cares? But now he has to eat shit when he's around them, and then when he goes to the jury, even more so, right? When the Awesome Four and Cook Islands turn their table, they still need to like kind of be humble because that's the jury, right? But by doing this, she just gets to vanquish the bully and stand up to her in a way that very much plays into Shannon's bullshit. Shannon's very much using all of this stuff as her manipulative tools, and she's like, yeah, let's not for now.
Yep.
And in my headcanon, they still have yet to hug and never will.
That's the other
also
thing.
What was so satisfying is why this show is still very good. This season has not been good. But I don't think it's like editing fault. I don't even know if it's casting's fault. I honestly, I just don't know. It's totally been gameplay. The game design, I mean. The game design has gotten in the way of the show because you see what they were able to do tonight. And obviously a lot of that is they don't do this, right? This happens because Shannon is Shannon, who Shannon is, as Sage is who Sage is, and you put people like that together and you see what happens. Like, that's the beauty of the show. But the storytelling has been going on for several episodes now, right? We, just initially, Shannon, I don't know about her, but is that my own bias? Because I just don't like this new agey, feels, like con man type stuff. because a lot of it is. And then more of it develops. It's like, oh no, she's just a con man. Okay, this is like we see it. So hiss, don't like. And then they just kept making sure to seed that, but then giving us Sage's perspective as the person who sees through the bullshit. And that's what makes just as satisfying a moment as I can think of in a long time. Because like Shannon is a different kind of bully. It's, all love and all this and all that's, but it's bullshit. And it's her way of like asserting dominance in, a different format. And it's fantastic to see somebody like that lose because frankly, in our world, they haven't been taking as many L's as I'd like.
Well, that was part of it too, is right when Sage first says something, you're like, oh man, no one's going to see it her way, right? Like it's been this building arc because you see like Sage, it seems like an uphill battle. Like Shannon does seem to be connecting with all these people like Kristina and Alex. They're all like, oh yeah, Shannon's really great. And we just see these conversations Shannon's having. And then Sage is the only one seemingly saying like, nah, I don't really like her. And it's like, ah, shit. Well, I guess I know how this is going to go, right? But then you just slowly see the tide turning. And again, this credit to the producers and editors of this show for laying out this narrative arc over several episodes. So we get to the point where once they're going to tribal council, you're like, oh, this is it. This is what we've been setting up for. And finally, Sage is going to get her win. She's turned the tide. She is going to take out Shannon, even though it seemed early on that Shannon had this huge advantage over her. And God, it was such a great feeling. I am so in the bag for Sage. And I mean, again, you're right. The commenters were very wrong. I was always on board with with Sage, the character. I just didn't think she would be a good player. This is just bonus. This is like, I assumed she was going to be Wemby blocking all the shots. I didn't realize she was going to be Wemby hitting the 35-footers, right? Like this was, I didn't expect the offense. I just assumed you were great for defense. This was, such a gift.
Yeah, because like when they first had the first swap, I'm like, okay, I know for sure that I do not like Shannon, but damn, I gotta respect it. It seems her bullshit seems to be working,
right?
And it's like it kind of like feels icky some of the bullshit she's doing, but because I do not like when people use religion as a scam, even though that might be why a lot of religion was invented in the first place. But it's like I think it looks like she's doing well, so it's like, I think she's gonna be around for a while. But no, she failed, and it was because of the person that she overlooked the most. Yes.
I think an even better thing too is it's like if you went back and watched this episode, and I picked up on some of them in real time, so I think you'd probably pick up on more in if you know the outcome. But there were so many things that like Sage is saying in the episode where like they're far more gratifying, right? Once you know how it turns out, like. She says at one point, they're like both carrying sticks and she's like, oh, I would hug you, but I'd stab you. And it's, what she supposedly means is that these sticks might poke you. But realistically, devoid of context, still probably true, right? Like yes. She's like, I would fucking stab you if you tried to hug me again. So it just works out even better when you pair that with the scene at Tribal Council where she's like, actually, no on the hug. Thanks, though.
But no, I'm probably repeating myself now, but it just like this is what I was passionate about. Honestly, nothing else in this episode I really care. We'll talk about some other stuff.
Sure.
There's stuff on the list, but this was the stuff. And it's as I was getting at before, it is a different dynamic, and not like unheard of, unseen. Like we had like Amy and Vanna Watch and all that, but it's like instead of like this testosterone and then, arrogance laced. I mean, there was plenty of arrogance by Shannon, but it's, the other side, the social things, the stuff that frankly we as dudes don't deal with that much. And the way that you could just use words here. Oh, I guess not you. Your skin's so good. No. And it's just like, oh, hate her. When she gets voted out, I'm like, yeah, see you later, you fake. And then I'm not going to say the word because it sounds hateful coming from me. But even if it was incredibly appropriate for who I'm putting it towards, but it's like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it's just different. You don't get that as much in Survivor and even less frequently now. And I think one of the reasons why we get it is that Shannon isn't really portrayed as like mean. It's fake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a different kind of villain, and I loved seeing it.
Well, and this is why it lands even more for me, is because one of my chief gripes from like the start of this season was like, there are so many people that just don't come across as genuine. And it's very annoying. Like you always get, almost always, I should say, have some of those people where it just feels like they're playing a character. And that was why I was on board with Sage early on. I'm like, nah, this is just who this girl is. Like, she's great. She's just being her weird ass self, and I'm here for it. So yeah, to have all these different layers, like Sage taking out the like disingenuous person by just being her real ass self, amazing. Like for that to win over Shannon's bullshit, just it works on so many levels. Easily the best episode of the season for me. Probably will remain the best episode of the season for me, because we'll get to this later, but I don't have a ton of hope for the future.
Yeah, I mean, the game could change dramatically because a lot of these people have not been playing Survivor, and they're going to have to. So, like, there's still a chance. But yeah, another reason why I was like, no, I have to be on this is because it's there is a real chance that this is the last thing that I really feel like I need to talk about.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
because they've been setting it up for multiple episodes, and it's this great character dynamic. Unlike another one we got this episode was Other Sophie versus Kristina.
Right. I was going to say, so if you're not yet pessimistic on how this season's going to turn out, let's take a tour around what's left, right?
Yeah.
So one of the other plot lines we got, as you mentioned, Other Sophie versus Kristina. I just want to point out, like, Other Sophie appeared on screen, I think it was last week, and my wife is like, who's that? I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you weren't on the podcast, but I think when she first got when she was complaining about the fruit reward, the week prior, same question. Like literally, me, podcaster, person who talks about it, everybody, although clearly, I don't investigate any of these characters beforehand, but who the fuck is this person? And my wife's like, she must be the other Sophie, because we had talked about the fact that there was another Sophie,
right? And you couldn't place the other Sophie, so that's process of elimination.
Her facial features is this is not somebody I know, because it's I think she looks a little similar to other people on the I don't know, but yes, but no, now she's ready to be the new Sophie.
Sure. More importantly, she and Kristina have been on a tribe. Or started on the same tribe, I should say. I was going to say have been on the same tribe since the beginning. Not necessarily true.
That is true, though.
Is it true? I don't even care. This is the point. I don't know enough or care enough about really either of them. I thought in the beginning, maybe I'd feel something about Kristina. No, not it. So,
she had her moment now. It's basically she had a touching moment early in the season about her mom when it looked like she was going to fall under the grip of cult leader Sophie.
Sure.
And then obviously she had whatever the medical minor situation in this episode, and both times I'm like, she seems like a nice person. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Cult leader Shannon, by the way, but that's okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Either way, I just am easy. It's very easy to dismiss both of these people. So then when they start a plot line of they're coming for each other, I'm like, great. I have no rooting interest at all. It's like when two teams that I don't care about play against each other. I'm like, great. Can they both lose? Fine. Yeah. I don't care.
And this goes back to the thing that I've been complaining about all season, is this is a game design problem. Again, maybe it's these people, right? Maybe these two people are very uninteresting. I think there's a good chance of that, especially with Other Sophie. But we don't know, because they haven't been able to develop anything with either of those characters or their entire tribes, because they don't lose at all, because there hasn't been real competition.
Right.
And the structure of the show is we spend time with the losers.
Yep.
So when you situate the game so that the same people are going to lose all the time, we get to an episode 6 and you're setting up this personal conflict that looks, frankly, bore out of personal annoyance for each other more than anything. The kind you get when you're around each other a lot. And we don't have any fucking clue.
Right.
Because we don't spend time with these people because they're not plot relevant. So again, I don't even care about fairness for fairness sake. I care about balance for the entertainment product and the storytelling that you set up. We have no chance to again, they might be just two boring people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ruling that out, but I can't even fully say it because they haven't been on the TV. I don't fucking know. And it's not like they've been ignored for more interesting people in their presence. Their whole section has been ignored because they're just winning.
See, I would posit that they are boring because, what generally happens is they don't give you 100% of the losing tribe, right? You still get little bits and pieces of the tribes that are succeeding and doing well. And you got to figure that they are putting the best foot forward for those tribes, right? Like the most interesting things that have happened in the tribes that are winning, even if it's not going to be necessarily strategy relevant, plot relevant, whatever. And so the fact that these two, more Sophie than Kristina, but were just completely invisible makes me think like, you know what? There's just probably nothing there. I mean,
yeah, I normally I'd agree, but like, what did we get out of Jason? He was good at puzzles. What did we get out of Matt? He had, weird hair. Even MC, that people are like, I kind of like her. We haven't gotten much out of her. She just like kind of has a vibe of competence. And then Steven seemed all right. Like the whole tribe is like a blank space. And again, it could be symbolic of who they are, but also it's like there was no story there, right? Like they had to cut back because these episodes are interminably long. Even this episode that I was excited about, there was are we still fucking watching this?
Yep.
Now, I was super tired and also nominally working at the time, but but yeah, so there's like all this time, but then we go like when we went to visit their tribe, and it's like, all right, let's all go look for the idol. Like there just was no story there at all.
And
we don't even know who was on the bottom of that tribe if they were to ever lose, because it wasn't even worth developing that part of the story.
I mean, and I think part of it too just might be vibes, because early on I make some decisions about what I think about some characters and stuff, but it's just like I can see there might be potential in MC or in Steven. I don't see it in Other Sophie
nor do
Kristina,
I would just feel better about writing them off if I had evidence for that. And again, even the evidence is we hang around that tribe a lot and we don't spend any time with them. Like, I'm not somebody like, oh, what's the confessional counts? Fucking keep it at 0. I don't give a shit. But it's just like that. I don't know anything about anybody who was on that side because of gameplay design.
Well, I mean, realistically though, both you and I are similar in this. Like, I can be fine with thinking this person sucks and is uninteresting. But then if later on in the season, suddenly they start doing things, they start like being an interesting character, I'll be like, oh, you know what? Shit. Switch my opinion. I'm on board. I'm not like locked in to like, oh, I've labeled you as boring, so I'm just going to decide you're uninteresting no matter what you do for the rest of the season. Like, no. I'm still open to them changing my mind. I'm just assuming it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. And like the one thing I cared about that suddenly this feud, and it might have just been one-sided. Like I think maybe it was just Sophie didn't feel good about the idea that Kristina was using her as a target, the false flag.
Also, let's briefly talk about
what I liked about it is that because it sounded like Nate wouldn't have gone home, the person there that I somewhat cared about.
Right. Well, let's also talk about the strategy in that very briefly, because here's the tribe breakdown roughly based on original starting colors: 2 yellow, 1 red, 1 blue. Now, the red assumes he's going home, right? So we got to figure out, okay, how can we make this guy think that he's safe? Now, silly me, this is how I would think it. All right, guy from red is going to assume that us two from yellow are going to stick together. So maybe, just hear me out here, maybe we tell him we're actually voting out guy from blue over here. Huh? Instead of, oh yeah, you don't know us at all, but we're absolutely down to turn on each other. Like, I just, it seems like an easier sell to say, yeah, we're down to take this other guy out because we kind of like you.
A couple complicated factors. One is that guy from blue was just with the 2 people from yellow for 2 days prior to that. So like, it's not like completely tabula rasa. It's like one or the other. So like, yeah, I could see, a guy from Red being like, but he was with you. And then, I mean, the other unspoken dynamic here is Kristina's like, I think I could convince the fellow black guy that me and the other black guy might all have a bond against you.
That would be funny. Like, she didn't explicitly
She didn't
spell that
say
out,
it,
but it would be
like,
funny if that was the angle.
and Alex could probably form a bond with Nate. It's like, well, where's that bond coming from? You guys just met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
And so from that perspective, it could actually, I could see why he would fall for that.
So let's again take a little tour around the potentially, and I'm being
We'll stay
super
here.
generous. What else
Nate,
do you got it here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Nate. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Nate, because you actually have some slight investment in Nate.
Yeah, like I don't know if he's entertaining, but I kind of like him largely probably due to,
He's got that dad energy.
Well, he's the same age as me.
Right.
I'm like a few months older than him. But yeah, like he just seems like the level-headed guy. Again, I'm not always trying to find, my person, like some person like me, like that's who I want to win, because I think I would be boring. But it's nice that there's at least somebody out there like that. And he did take a different approach with getting there. And he voiced it to us, is that like, I can't just be here and be all like ooly strong. I need to like sow the seeds that I'm willing to flip so that I can stay alive. And that I was impressed by that, because that's exactly what Jason did not do, right?
Yes.
When Jason was over there, it's like, yeah, no, I could never be anything but maybe that could benefit you guys, how loyal I am to people who are not you.
Right.
But what's funny is, so Nate does much better impression, that, or at least he talks about it, that's his strategy. That's what he needs to do. Recognition, maybe aided from the fact that, like, he was just around Jason doing the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how well that played for him.
Right. Well, that's not the way to do it. So let's try something
problem
else.
Is, as soon as he does all that, then we get Other Sophie being like, yeah, he's trying all that, but that feels like bullshit. I don't believe it for a second.
Right.
It's like, fair.
Yep.
I mean, so then it's like, as much shit. And I don't know if it was all that much. You don't know at all. You weren't on the podcast or listening to it. Or I gave Jason how poorly he handled the swap. Maybe sometimes you're just fucked anyway.
Well, that's true. I mean, realistically, I think he probably was. But there were still ways that he would have given himself like a small percentage chance, right? I think he did fully close the door on himself. Rather
Even
than
just something like this, where they're talking about voting you out and somebody gets a little ticked that you would be the decoy. Even though it's like, I mean, I understand. Nobody ever really wants to be the decoy. But it's like, if you're the decoy to avoid the shot in the dark, then you're probably okay,
Right.
Like, really, the worst outcome, if you think that I'm on the bottom because they're using me as a decoy, is that they play the shot in the dark and it hits. And then your tri-mates just vote you out.
That would be very funny.
Because the thing to remember is the person casting the shot in the dark doesn't cast a vote. So they're not actually, in danger that way. Now, obviously, you could be like, but what if he has an idol? Like, that's why you don't want to be a decoy vote, is if there's truly an idol. Anyway, sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, but I mean, also, in this case, you're in a tribe of 4. There's very little you can do.
I get, maybe she was like, why aren't we saying it's the guy in blue, huh?
Right.
Just like you, yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
And maybe she feels the other dynamics that are in play that went unsaid by everyone but me.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's, for me, I think this was indicative of the fact that, like, overall, I'm just not super invested in these characters, because this entire tribe, I was like, I don't need any of them to get screen time. I mean, of the 4, I guess I'm fine with seeing some Nate, but he hasn't like popped off the screen for me. I'd just be like, okay, if you want to mix in a little bit of Nate into my TV show, fine. The other 3, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, the Nate character type works better if there are big personalities around, and then he's
right. Then he plays straight man to them, right? Like, or like the wizened old voice, and like he's analyzing what's going on around him. Great. But he's not carrying a tribe. So no thanks. Entertainment-wise, that tribe did nothing for me. So let's instead...
I mean, so we're running out of tribes here, just so you know, which I think is a statement on the season, but it's like that tribe did nothing for you.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, whichever tribe Sage is in is probably the answer.
Well, of course. But so now we have to move on to the other tribe. We have to give, I'm trying to see where you're finding hope from, if you are. Because
just because, like, I want to see what happens when these people actually play Survivor.
That's
because
fair.
so far, like, 3 of them have, you know.
So the other tribe, very similar to the pre-shuffle tribe. We had Rizo and Savannah and Sophie getting the band back together. But then the risk there was that, you know, MC, who I, again, did think there was some potential. I was like, oh no, I hope they don't lose because I don't want MC going home from getting screwed by that tribe. But then, you know, once the challenge was about to go down, I'm like, hey, I feel like pretty confident they're safe. You know, it's just, you know.
My initial instinct is I hope that tribe does lose so that MC gets her, like, idol and then fireworks.
Sure. But I don't know. I don't know that I want to see that in the tribe of 4. You know, like I guess it's fine, but I want to see that be used to greater effect. Mm-hmm. Instead, though, what happened is we saw them searching for an advantage, and Sophie found it, and it was the knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And she's got it. She immediately hides it. As of right now, no one knows she has it, which my memory is shoddy on this, but I think that's the first time that's happened where, like, I mean, so far, and admittedly, I don't think in previous seasons that you know, immediately someone else knew, but this is someone who has it. No one else knows as of yet. Could this potentially be then a season where the knowledge is power actually hits and matters and does something?
I mean, it's always possible. I'm going to wager no. Because, I mean, as Sophie already lays out, she knows where one idol is, but that guy is her ally. So, again, you know, you shouldn't be above stealing it from your ally, and people who are your allies now aren't necessarily later. Although I do feel like Sophie's best path is with Savannah and Rizo. Because what other path does she have, right?
Right, at the moment, yes.
But I don't know, like, just as we've seen, like, this thing has failed spectacularly every time it's been employed. I remember when it was first, you know, proposed, people reading that this was a thing that was going to happen before they saw it in play. They're like, that's the most overpowered thing ever. And part of that, not fully understanding, like, the mechanics of how you need to play it. I bet it'll continue to be a nothing burger. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be partly because of who has it. Like, I just don't think Sophie is going to have that aggressive gameplay. She's not going to take it from Rizo. I think ultimately it will not surprise me if she never even plays it, right? Or she'll end up telling someone about it, and then it's essentially going to be worthless because enough of the word will get around that it'll be like, well, once everyone knows you have it, you're just, the odds of you using it successfully are going to be so fucking slim.
Yeah, people start playing hot potato with the advantages.
Yeah, it will not surprise me if this ends up going absolutely nowhere and nothing cool happens because of it.
Yeah. And, like, one thing that's made it harder is deciding who are the people who have the best chance at it. Often in previous seasons, there were people who went to a place where the advantages and such were doled out. That hasn't happened as much this season, for the positive, right? Like, a lot of those things are fucking boring. And the ones that have, like, pretty clearly, like, they came back and was like, I, you know, took this group advantage or whatever. I didn't, like, gain anything. So you don't have that. I bet, you know, MC has something because she went on a journey. You know, you have to know that MC found the Beware advantage, and I believe it's just her and Steven who do.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is I don't see her using that to any great effect. And, you know, she knows Rizo has the idol. I don't think she'll be ballsy enough to take it from him, even though it would be pretty fucking cool if she did. It would just have to be at the right moment for her to do that. You know, it'd have to be late enough in the game that he couldn't exact retribution for it. And really, you'd have to steal it from him and take him out right then, right?
Yeah. So like, and obviously there's still a lot of game to play, but like right now it's hard to envision a scenario where like taking Rizzo's idol and then using it to vote him out is more advantageous to her than having Rizzo around as an alliance partner in Shield.
Right. Exactly. And really, like, the timing on that for that to be useful and a successful plan is you have to wait pretty late because you're going to be publicly stealing an idol. Everyone's going to know you have that idol. So you're going to have to use it very quickly after you take it. So yeah, I mean, the only other situation is, you think you're going to be targeted and you ask Rizo to play the idol on you. He says no. And then you're like, well, screw it. I'm going to make you play the idol on me by taking it right now. Will that happen? I mean, I guess maybe. I feel like it won't. But
literally just now, as you're talking, thought of like a scenario that I don't think would happen, but would be really cool. Is the tides are turning on the former Uli because of Queen Sage and her, Retribution tour. I think the first target would be Savannah, but Rizzo is right there, so like they know that the vote is going to Rizzo, and maybe Sophie knows this because like her maintained connections with Alex, who's in an alliance with Sage, and the former Ulis know it too. Rizzo's all hyped up. He's going to use his idol to protect himself, and they're going to flip this game back in their favor and take out whomever, right? And then Sophie decides, you know what? No, I'm going to take that idol, not so she can use it, not because she needs it right now, but just so that, Rizzo goes home.
Mm-hmm.
She gets an idol, and her this new, and then she forms inroads through Alex with that power group. And that helps that group vote out Rizzo as a result. And then that could end up helping her and not making her the very next target.
Sure.
That could be cool. I'm not seeing it happen.
It won't happen. Right. Yeah, exactly.
My brain at the time.
Yeah, I think realistically for me, what I'm envisioning for this season is that once Sage goes home, it's going to be all downhill from there for me. And I don't think it's going to be all that long from now when Sage goes home. I feel like I'm shocked she went past the first 3 or 4 episodes. Part of that was just because the one tribe kept losing, so she couldn't go home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
she'd be gone if she was on a different tribe.
Exactly.
If they just didn't fucking like take the flint all the time, right?
Right. So yeah, I mean, this has worked out well for me. It just all feels like bonus content from Sage that I was not expecting. So it's great until it stops, which I'm assuming it will, and then I'll be sad, and then I'll be like less interested in the season. But more importantly, we were talking about Rizzo and that idol. Let's do a quick Rizzo check-in. Where are we at on Rizzo this week? Is he annoying or is he just young?
This week I'm going back to young. I think he was not annoying this week.
Okay. Counterpoint.
Yes.
What about that snorkel confessional?
Yeah. See, that was enough. Like, because it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, okay, well, he's in on the joke. Now, I don't know there's ever been a problem, right? Like, part of the annoyance is that he's clearly just felt like the need to play a character.
Yeah.
But, like, doing it in that way with the fucking snorkel in his mouth, it's like, okay, he's lampshading it. So it didn't bother me as much.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you take that confessional out, I'm fine with he's just young this week. The goofy ass. Also,
but that was a big moment. So if that pushes your arrow to the other side, that he's annoying, I fully understand.
So, but one thing did come up, and as a Floridian, I feel like I have to ask this, right? Because you are Canadian, you are far from an ocean. Now, I don't know your water baby background here, but do you know the correct way to approach the water with flippers?
No, because anywhere like I there's not really a lot of sand leading to water where I would be.
Right. That's what I was assuming. So yeah, I mean, probably similar. But Rizzo's like from Jersey. I mean, I guess they technically have.
They got a shore,
there.
I've heard.
Right. They technically have beaches there. I don't know that too many people are swimming them, but. The way to do it, by the way, is you put on the flippers and you walk backwards. That way you don't trip over yourself like that dumbass was doing. So pro tip.
Did you need to do it that far?
That was the other thing. Also,
now maybe like you need to sit down to do it, and that's the only place. There's not a lot of places to sit down in Survivor.
You still don't have to put your flippers on 45 feet from the water.
I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of footage over his 12 seasons of like Ozzy walking all the way through camp with his flippers on.
There you go. Yeah.
Now I don't know if Ozzy needs flippers at all.
That's true. I don't recall him necessarily wearing them.
Maybe he does, but maybe he just has them.
Yeah.
Like the fish boy he is.
Yep.
I saw a movie about that once. Wait, seeing Ozzy movies. It's a different joke altogether.
Yeah. Well, sometimes might have the same sort of plot lines.
Yeah, I haven't, because those are only for his fans.
That's right. All right. One other thing that was of note in this episode. I feel like this should resonate with you because you've brought this sort of strategy up before. How'd you like Jawan's strategy of like, I know how to ingratiate myself. I'm just going to name nerdy shit.
Yeah, so last week it was Pokemon and we had nothing to do there. And then he's like, hey, do you like Marvel? Really funny that there's actually a movie producer from Marvel on this season.
Great.
That I feel like Jawan hasn't had this conversation with. Oh, no, probably because actually he did
it very early on.
Like, the Spider-Man movies way back when. Not that he is actively doing that. Yeah, I mean, Jawan himself doing that, but I actually do like that Survivor is shining a spotlight this season on the basic ass way that men bond.
Yeah.
So that was nouns and not feelings, not what's going on. Just let's remember some guys.
Let's just list some shit. And then guys love that. It's just a universal male thing. You just start listing shit with another guy and we're like, yeah, we are clicking right now, bro. We are just, we're saying names of things and we're like, yes, we are enjoying ourselves. Like, you and I have named some guys.
Basic ass tweet that goes around, right? I mean, the former Deadspin, now Defector, has a regular thing. Let's remember some guys and all that. But yeah, like a post will go up. It's like, hey, let's remember some, random like 90s point guards. And then you, me, and Matt will just go back like Pooh Richardson.
Yeah. We're just naming guys because we're like, oh, that's some Haywood Workman right there. And we're like, yeah.
Sherman Douglas.
Right. Just naming guys. And we're like, this is great.
No context, no like shared memories, just the name, and then like just that's enough for us.
Yeah, and then your wife will be like, "What's going on in John's life?" And you're like, "I don't,
I know.
I don't know. I know which point guards he can name though."
She's gonna ask after this. How's John?
Yeah,
it has a weekly thing and just shows like how hope springs eternal. Because I'll be like, I don't know, he seems fine,
right?
It's just, and yeah, it's the joke. It's always on Reddit posts, but it is so real.
No, it is genuinely how we communicate. Yeah, it's a real ass thing.
Like, yeah, hey, how's like, and like they know more because maybe like they know the guy's girlfriend, or they're like follow the social media. Oh yeah, I heard he got a new job. It's like, oh yeah. You were with him 3 hours. Did it not come up? It's like, no.
Nope.
We were just naming some guys.
That's all we were doing.
And this obviously isn't the first time. Like, our whole top threes bore out of the fact that, like, Charlie and the heavy metal guy, whose name I can't think of right now, we're just naming some songs.
See? It's a very guy thing to do. And that's the thing. It's like, just naming some shit. It can be sports. It can be media. It can be, like, I was going to say women, but it could be also men. Gay guys are down to name a guy. Name a guy that they'd like to fuck. There's options out there. But
even there, like you put it there, it's like, then like women might get, so there's like that angle. It's like, no, honestly, it is just so fucking simple. There's no deeper meaning to any of this.
No.
Every once in a while, you'll like name a guy or name a thing. And then people are like, ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's what you live for that.
Yeah, because then you're like, that was a good pull. You're right. Yeah, I nailed it. Yeah, so good. And then also the judgment on like, that's not a guy. What do you just, that's not a guy at all.
You don't know how this works.
Right. Like, we feel like we inherently know how to play name a guy. Yeah. It's just like you inherently know the urinal code, right? We know the order in which to stand at the urinal. We know how to play name a guy.
So my kid and I go to into a public washroom. I'm just bringing this up because it was like this week. And we turn the corner and they're there. There's three. That's cool. Hey, there's two of us. One fucking guy was in the middle.
No. See, how does this happen?
How? that should be the cleanest spot in the washroom because
Right.
nobody should ever use it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just this big fucking power move. I'm going to take up all three.
Yeah. I wonder if he was there by himself and he's like, oh man, what does this even feel like? Maybe that was his first time ever in the middle urinal. He's like, oh, I've always wondered what it would feel like. He just ruined his moment. He was going to have a solo middle urinal moment to himself and you ruined it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, I am aware that it is stupid that we do this, but it's what we do. It's fine. Nobody gets hurt. The whole, the meme of I bet he's thinking of her right now. And you're like, I'm trying to remember what was the batting order for the 93 Blue Jays. Yeah. Ricky Henderson batted leadoff.
Henderson on the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that was the one season we got him as a late trade. Now, he's not a guy, by the way.
No. Everyone knows that's not a guy.
But a guy would be Devon White. That's a guy.
That's a guy. Yeah, obviously. So hopefully people picking up context. If they don't know the game, we're giving you the game.
But yeah, so like that's what we do. We just kind of list stuff. We fucking rank stuff. I know it's dumb behavior.
Yep.
But just let us have that.
Right.
Speaking of.
Well, so we should move on to our top three, but I should also point out that things that we don't do as kind of already tangentially referenced, like you could have gotten a new job this week. You could have gotten a promotion. You could have gotten fired. I probably would not know that. Just to be clear. And
I guess I do have a major
regularly.
thing going on in my life that you know a little bit about.
That's true. That's fair.
But we've most certainly talked more about Austin Reeves this week than that.
Yep. Do a whole lot of Austin Reeves fake trades. That's been going down.
Well, none of those. He's going nowhere.
Yep, that's right.
We're talking far more about VJ Edgecombe than anything that's going on in my life.
Right.
And I want to keep it that way. That's not just, male loneliness epidemics. Like, no, I mean, look, I got people for that other thing.
Yeah. No, it's just, we do it because it rules. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, as we alluded to, let's get back to those top three lists that Charlie and his name was Ben. That was it. It was Ben.
That's it, yeah.
Yep. Charlie and Ben. I just named a guy.
He was a good guy. Ben was a guy.
Ben was a guy.
Charlie might not be a guy.
No, Charlie's not a guy.
Depending on what happens next season,
Yeah. If a few seasons from now, you'll be like, I remember Ben. That was a guy.
Yeah. Boston Rob is not a guy.
Not at all. No, absolutely
but
not.
There have been Robs that were guys?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably trying to think of some, but just
Rob
definitely.
with two B's. That guy's a guy.
Yeah, that's a guy. All right, let's do, and I feel like I'm going to be disappointed if this doesn't go a certain way. We're going to do top three chips. All right. And if you don't act like a fucking Canadian on this.
Don't worry, you will not be.
Okay.
You will not be disappointed.
Thank you.
I, however, will be. Real quick before we get started, people think that the worst thing for me to talk to you about when we're doing this listing, talking about things, is movies.
Yeah.
And I understand why they think that, but they're wrong. The worst is actually talking about junk food with John, which is just no fucking fun and I don't know what you're going to pick at all, but I bet it's going to be like, this fucking Whole Foods, all natural, baked thing. And then they're like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to represent for the fatzos here. The topic is junk food.
Yep.
Let's junk it up.
Let's do it.
No, I bet you're going to fuck it up. So what's the topic? What's the full topic?
So there's top three chips. That's it. You're going to do chips.
Chips
you're
was the reward.
You're going to do
People will be handing out little bags of chips tomorrow at Halloween.
Maybe. I mean, some houses do that, sure.
Some. It's fine. Honestly, it's not as good as candy, but far better than, I bet the granola bars your fucking house hands out. I'm the caricature of John that I have.
Listen, those are organic and whole grain and non-GMO, all right? They are an amazing snack to hand out. Those kids are so excited.
So much.
All right. Do you got any honorable mentions?
I do. So the honorable mention, to get this out of the way so to clear any disappointment, is full represent Canada here. I think everybody's waiting for me to say ketchup chips.
Yep.
Now, the real heads know about all dressed chips.
Mm-hmm.
So both of these are kind of the Canadian. So the ketchup chips are the stereotypical Canadian one because people heard of like, what the fuck, a ketchup chip?
Yep.
People that like talk to Canadians are like, what's this all dressed? That said, I'm going with ketchup chips. Like all dressed, they're tasty. Maybe it even is the better chip, but I got hooked on ketchup chips when I was a child, which is, I should note, the only way that you can enjoy ketchup chips. They are objectively disgusting.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting thing.
Well,
but I got it when I was like 5, and now like do I eat them a lot? That's why it's not my top 3. No, I don't eat it a lot, but sometimes I'm just gonna house a bag of ketchup chips.
Sure. Just for reference though, I did bring my kids to Canada, and I was like, well, you guys got to try this. It's ketchup chips. And they're like, what? Ketchup chips? I'm like, that's right, ketchup chips. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, it's ketchup on fucking potatoes. You do it on the French fries. It's the concept applied to chips. And they're like, okay. Still looking at me as though like, oh, what a strange concept to suggest.
Wait, your Whole Foods ass kids were like, I don't want no ketchup chips? Hard for me to believe, John.
I know, right? So I let them try that, and they were disgusted. They were like,
yeah,
what is this shit? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's ketchup chips.
Yeah, I mean, I think to note is I don't know that they actually taste like ketchup. It's like some idea of ketchup.
That's right. It's
soda.
Like, it's the essence of the idea of ketchup. It's not the essence of ketchup. It's like, if you gave someone a description of ketchup and then you took the essence of what that description was. So it's not quite, it's like a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
Not quite there. However,
this powder that like burns on your tongue as you eat it, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's kind of vinegary, but also it's kind of Swedish.
Yeah.
Not Swedish as in from Sweden, but anyway.
Sweet. And it should be noted, this was, and I don't know if this is where you're going, Emma shared in the Slack that Whole Foods has a ketchup chip.
No, it's actually, it's funny you should say that. It's Trader Joe's that has it.
Oh, Trader Joe's. They're the same to me.
Yeah.
2 places with, the floors are probably wood and everything's a little more expensive, and we don't have them here.
Yeah.
I think there are Trader Joe's in Vancouver, but I'm not in Vancouver.
You are missing out, my friend.
I'm not.
What a treat.
But yeah, so I bet some of them are going to be in your top 3. And I was just like flat out, I am sure those ketchup chips fucking suck. And then she's like, I think all ketchup chips do. And it's like, okay, fair. Look, I understand. Again, I don't think you're either born into it or you're not. Like, this is an adult trying fucking Chef Boyardee for the first time. Although that was the thing I ate as a kid that I can't as an adult at all.
No.
Like, what the fuck is this plastic shit? It's probably gotten worse,
I know.
by the way, because like a lot of foods have, but also, I'm an adult. You want something that tastes like ketchup, that potato sauce or tomato sauce would be it. But yeah, like, think of how like when a restaurant talks about like their gourmet like house style ketchup and how it's always fucking trash. Like the only ketchup worth having is Heinz.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with anybody who tries to do a ketchup chip with any degree of fanciness.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be a basic ass chip.
Yeah.
And then I suppose your other mistake was making it Lay's, but we can continue.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, of course. I feel like Lay's is like
Lay's is fine, but it is not the ideal form of a Canadian potato chip.
Well,
I will
so
get into it.
I should also point out though, I did have them try all dressed as well. Those were a hit. They did like the all dressed.
Yeah, no, like I think objectively all dressed is a better chip.
It is.
But ketchup is far more stereotypically Canadian unless I had to rep for it.
And I will say, having tried the ketchup chips myself, I don't think they're that bad. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not like it's one of those things where I can eat them and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. I'm going to eat a few more. Still don't know if I like it. I'll have eaten, 10, 12, 15 chips. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Is this good? Am I enjoying this?
Real talk, I've probably been eating them for 41 years and I'm still in that place.
Right.
And I'd say like another thing, like you can't just have one because often like some of them are just lightly dusted and then some of them are saturated. Like it's a cumulative effect.
Right. Okay. So I'll start with my number 3. Look at me. Sour cream and cheddar is where I'm starting.
Okay, that's solid.
That's what I'm saying. It's a great like chip. I've eaten it since I was a kid. My kids now like them too. The ideal version is probably like the little ruffled version because you get that little texture to it too. Yeah, that's probably the way to go. Sour cream and cheddar. Good flavor combo.
My number 3, I went with Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips.
Oh, look, that feels like a John choice more than an Andy choice.
Almost, yeah. Because they have like a sun in it, it must be healthy.
That's right.
I'm not boiling it. I've been eating the sour and cream sun chips. I also like those. But they don't have this much flavor. I like when you get like a nice like a chalky like dusting of the harvest cheddar on there too. Yeah, no, often if I'm feeling like I really want a chip, that's not doing the job because they're not salty and all of that. But it's a nice part of the mix.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It feels like there might be whole grains in those or something. Like you did kind of edge into my territory there. I'm a little annoyed.
That's the closest it's going to come.
Stay on your side of the line, Andy. All right. So my number 2, it's just absolute classic. It's a go-to. The barbecue. You got to get the barbecue. There's various iterations of it. So I'm just going to go generically barbecue chips, right? Like a perfect, I mean, honestly, a perfect cookout barbecue snack that you just have on the table and you're having a barbecue with your burgers, with your whatever your cookout food is. You throw some barbecue chips on the plate and you're like, yeah, I'll have some of these. That'd be good. Pairs well with any outdoor foods.
The thing about barbecue chips is I feel like every company's interpretation of what barbecue chips taste like is wildly different.
They're a little off, right? Yeah. It's never the same.
Some of them are good in different places, but like they can be like just completely different flavors. And I don't know if one's like, I want to be mesquite or whatever. Yeah. Like, whereas like a dill pickle chip from like any kind of company, it's largely like some are better than others or whatever, but they're trying to replicate the taste of dill pickle. But like the term barbecue just allows for such, variety of what it could be. Yep. That said, I enjoy barbecue chips.
That's what I'm saying. I'm taking the whole gamut. I'll take, all of them.
All right. Getting back to my Canadianness again, like you were going generic flavors. I'm kind of on that, but just to specify, the best kind of chip is called our Old Dutch chips. That's the brand. It's just Canadian. Canada has a way of all of our most significant additions to culinary things, which never are all that significant, are named after other places. We invented Hawaiian pizza. And so Old Dutch. I mean, maybe the people were Dutch. I don't know. But that's the style. They're much better than Lay's. So my number 2 is like your classic, like ripple chip. But again, I prefer the Old Dutch version of it. This is probably my favorite snack that is to have my Old Dutch ripple chips dipped into Philadelphia dill pickle like chip dip.
Wow. So you're going to like basically a plain chip.
Yeah, and
with
it's
the dip.
Because of the dip.
Yeah,
which is why it keeps it out of 1, because that like just the chip itself. It's like
you're not just snacking on
it. It gives you the salt. If you're craving that, but it's the delivery mechanism. That's why it's got to be the ripple, not your basic, because it has to be strong enough to get through that dip. Now, often at my age, when I decide this could be a night for me to snack on this stuff, maybe I'm like watching a ball game or something, I feel bad the next morning. Like I should not be eating this food. I don't eat it as much as I used to, because like that dip is basically I'm just like I'm having some liquefied fat.
So, all right. My number 1, I would feel as though I disappointed you if I didn't do this. Right? Okay. We did bring up Trader Joe's earlier. My number 1 is chili lime bougie Takis from Trader Joe's. I forget what they call them, like rolled tortilla chips or some shit. It's Takis. They just took Takis and they like, instead of using radioactive dust or whatever the fuck Takis uses, they used like actual ingredients and they made like a Taki that, probably isn't going to give you cancer or give you like much slower acting cancer or something. And you eat a bunch of them, it destroys the inside of your mouth.
That's a good part of chips, by the way.
It's great. I mean, it's sour, and then there's some spice to it too, and it's just like, why do I keep eating this? And you get down to the bottom of the bag, and you're just getting like your fingers covered in the fucking dust, and then you lick your fingers, and you're like, I'm gonna die right now, and it's amazing. A+ experience. Huge fan of the bougie Takis.
Hey, where are you at with kettle chips?
Kettle chips are good. I mean, like, I like the crunch.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a better way. No?
Like, sometimes, like, I think everybody else in my house likes them. The crunch is what I think I don't like. I feel like it slows down the chip eating in a way I don't want when I'm eating chips. So yeah, I'm like, again, like in small doses, but again, I'm not really looking for small doses when I'm eating chips, you know? I don't want like 5 chips. If all I want is like 5 chips, I'm better. I don't need chips apparently. If all I want, it's just going to be a few, I want like a bowl of chips. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of kettle chips. That's just a me thing. My number one, and again, Old Dutch is the best one of this, but I'll take it from most places. I like salt and vinegar chips.
Okay, I did debate giving them an honorable mention because they're fun.
Now, when we say salt and vinegar chips, really what we're saying is vinegar chips because all chips have salt.
Sure.
And that's the key ingredient. And to get to your point, you eat that and where you know it's hitting is when your mouth fucking hurts.
Yeah.
You have like a cut in your mouth when you're
like,
doing it even more. And like all of this, like my wife understands none of this because she does not like flavor. With her chips, with her condiments, any of it. So like, it was like, well, how can you even think she doesn't like it? Like ketchup chips is the worst. Like, I can smell it. It's so disgusting. I get them for road trips. So she has to hand them to me as the co-pilot.
Perfect.
And then sit there and smell it. But yeah, salt and vinegar is like, let me describe what's so great about it. You eat it and it kind of hurts a bit. And then like the kids get it too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what is good about that? And like, I don't know. But it is.
My mouth is in pain. I want some more.
I can't stop.
Right.
If I stop eating, then I'll notice it.
Right. If I just keep the pain going, then we're good. I should point out, like, I probably should have led with this, like, because I know this from watching like British shows, like,
oh yeah, these are potato chips,
right? So
crisps,
they would call them crisps, right? Like I think Aussies might call them crisps too. I don't remember. We got some Aussie people in the audience. Tell us what do you call the potato chips there?
Vegemite lights,
right? Exactly. But yeah, that always throws me off because like on the British show, they did something the other day. They made it like fucking flapjacks, right? So you're like, oh, a pancake. No, it's not a pancake. It was like a fucking oat bar. And they keep saying flapjacks. And I'm like, what are you making right now? And they're showing all these people cooking. And I'm like, that doesn't look like a pancake at all. You guys are fucking this up so badly.
Yeah.
But no, they call it flapjack. They call it the wrong thing.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, obviously, this is not news to us. The different English-speaking nations have different words for things. But it's like, I want to know the etymology of what you got to call flapjacks. I'm pretty sure, like, for us, it's the process of making it. You flap it.
Yeah.
Right? It's on the frying pan, you flip it around. And,
yeah.
It probably stemmed from, the, expansion west and how you have to, the guy with the one tooth and the coverall underwear with the flap and stuff, and he's making breakfast and then my flapjacks. Like, I feel like that's where the word comes from for me.
Right. It's just the objectively better descriptor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'll allow that football is a far better name for what they do.
Sure.
Than what we do.
Sure. Sometimes they get it right.
Yeah. But not there.
No.
And not with chips either. Sure, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You fry them, so they're fries,
Exactly. Thank you. Not chips. Come on. All right. So those of you listening, if you want to comment, give us your top 3 chips, you can do that at purplerockpodcast.com. You could text them to us. I mean, I don't know why you would. I guess you could if you're just like, I really need Andy and John to know my chip choices. I mean, fine. Go ahead. Hit that little text us link and tell us. And we'll know your chips. You can be anonymous, like in case you're worried the government might find out what kind of chips you like. We won't report you. So yeah, you can also contact us that way. And what else we got, Andy?
We have a special song.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Special someone.
So go ahead and hit the theme music.
Another day is at end. Mama says she's tired again. No one can even begin to tell her. I hardly know what to say, but maybe it's better that way. If Papa were here, Mama tries hard to pretend that things will get better again. Somehow she's keeping it all inside her. But finally the tears fill our eyes, and I know that somewhere tonight she knows how much we really miss her. Shannon is gone, I hope she's drifting out to sea. She always loved to swim away. Maybe she'll find an island with a shady tree, just like the one in our backyard. Just like the